I'm a spirit channeler and oracle card reader who channels both light and shadow energies in my readings, which means if you're easily triggered, please find yourself another reader. Hey everyone, welcome back. So I posted a poll and I only left it up for one day, and as a result, and unfortunately, there was a two-way tie, so I decided to break the tie myself. So this video is going to be advice and messages from your spiritual team, because I feel like I haven't done a video or reading like this in a while. So you have 4 piles to choose from left to right, pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pause the video if you need some more time to choose your pile, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile number 1, welcome to your reading. So the advice and message from your spiritual team is that you need to focus on yourself, focus internally to get the answers that you need to live your life. Don't look to outside sources, don't look to other people for advice, and don't follow other people. So there's some situation, this is a general reading here, but for a lot of you guys, I'm picking up something to do with career, where you're following what other people are doing. I see you maybe looking at a manager or a superior or a friend or an acquaintance who has a higher job than yours, a more prestigious career or something like that. They went to school for some of you guys for a particular thing. And you're thinking, oh, well, if I go to school for this thing, then I could probably make as much money as them. Some of you guys, I'm hearing something to do with computers. You don't really necessarily like computers, but you're like, okay, well, they're making, I don't know, 60K a year, 80K, 100K or whatnot. So there's something here for all of you guys, and it really is heavily career related and life goals related, to do with you following people who appear to be bigger than you, more successful than you, just grander in a way. And it doesn't have to be anything substantially grander. It could just be you looking at an immediate supervisor at your work and thinking, oh, maybe I can have that job, or maybe I could do what they're doing, something like that. So there's something here about you guys changing your mind about your life goal, like planning your life, planning your career. Like, where are you getting your answers from when it comes to what you actually want to do with your life, where you actually want to be 5 years from now, career-wise? Where are you getting your answers from? If you actually sit down and think about it, you're actually getting most of your ideas and answers and plans from outside sources. So if you really, really think about it, what is your goal for the next year, next 5 years, career-wise and like life goal-wise? It's probably something that you picked up elsewhere. Like if you're thinking, oh, well, I'm working at this company right now and I kind of feel like in 5 years I should at least be the manager, right? Where did you get that from? Did you go into this company? Did you go into this job thinking I'm going into this job because I want to be a manager? Or did you originally go into this job because you're like, it feels like a good job for now until I can figure out what I want to do? If that is the case, hello, you just changed your mind. All of a sudden now, when you're in this job, all of a sudden now you're thinking, okay, I'm going to stay here and then apply for a manager position or try to work my way up to another department or something like that. Whereas when you originally took the job and originally applied for the job, you were thinking, okay, this is a stepping stone or an intermediate situation until a particular thing happens or until something else. Then you just ended up dropping the something else and some other ideas popping up in your mind, and it's taking up your life goals. Like it has taken the place of your life goals, this new idea where it's like, oh, well, what about this instead? And some of you guys, it's family members or some other people who are giving you ideas. And especially if you're young, especially if some of you guys watching this are around 17, if you're trying to figure out like, oh, what I'm going to take in post-secondary, your friends, you're probably going around asking your friends, oh, what are you guys going to take? Or listening to what your family members said, or what your older siblings took, or what your older cousins took, or something like that. And there's just an issue here of you guys just not listening to your own inner self, what you truly want, and putting it on a back burner and just allowing other people, outside influences, to influence you and influence your life goals and your decisions. So your spiritual team is telling you to cut that out. It's like you're slowly being infested by other people's ideas for your life. So it's like you're not running your life right now, and it's only going to get progressively worse if you don't stop and do something about this. If you need to actually Meditate, go inward, and actually come up with a life plan yourself that you yourself actually came up with. And again, be careful, because you might think, well, I came up with this idea. Did you really? Where did you get that idea from? If you really, really think about it, chances are whatever idea you have for your life, career-wise, you didn't come up with it. You got it from somewhere else. You saw it somewhere else and you thought, hey, that's not a bad idea. But you didn't come up with that idea. You're looking outside and trying to figure out your life inside, whereas your inner being, your more expansive being, is trying to give you clues and hints with that Page of Cups in reverse there. And it's like you're not getting it, because with that 10 of Wands in reverse, it's like you're just picking up all these outside sources, all these outside noise and information. It's like if someone's trying to talk to you and you have 3 televisions going, you can't really hear what the person is saying who's trying to talk to you, but you can hear what the commercial on television 1 is saying. You can hear what the character on the television show on the TV 2 is saying. You can hear what the other character in the movie on TV 3 is saying, but you can't really hear what the person next to you is trying to say to you. So the person next to you in this example would be your inner self, your expansive self, and then the other televisions are your parents, your friends, your classmates, your coworkers, your superiors at work, acquaintances, celebrities, people around the block, your cousins, etc., your aunts, your uncles, whatnot. Okay, so those are your messages. I hope that helped you. Hope it resonated. Let me know if it did, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello, pal number 2. Welcome to your reading. So your advice and messages from your spiritual team. Actually, your spiritual team right now, at least in this particular reading, is consisting mainly of underworld spirits. So with this Knight of Wands card here, with the 3 of Cups in reverse, and then with the Ace of Wands right next to it, I'm seeing a lot of fire energy, and I'm feeling a lot of hell energy. Also with the Wizard card there, as your first card, use your skills to aid others. You guys are natural born like witches and wizards and mediums. And ironically, the reading that tied this one in the poll, the like which demon wants to work with you, if any, that reading, had I done it and had it won, would have greatly benefited you guys. Because with that 3 of Cups in reverse, there is definitely at least one, if not 2 or more, underworld entities who you need to be working with, who are your guides, and they're trying to work with you at this stage in your life, particularly so that you can come into your power with that Wizard and the Queen card there, and you're not really making enough contact with them, not to their liking. It's not enough for your growth, and you need to be making more significant and more frequent and a stronger and deeper contact with them. So that reading actually would have helped you, but you can do it on your own. Just reach out to them. You don't even have to know their names. And quite frankly, that reading would have been a general reading anyways, and that I only would have been going through like major demons and demons only. I wouldn't have been going through any other underworld spirits. And this is a general reading here, and these guys who are trying to reach out to you could be any type of underworld spirits. They don't necessarily have to be demons. Demons are the default that people would think of. And then even amongst the demons, chances are, I mean, it could be, but there still is a high chance that their name wouldn't even be in one of my demon decks. So, all that to say, like, don't worry about it. You can make contact with them on your own. You can figure out basically who they are on your own. At first, you may not be able to come up with a name immediately, but you should first try to come up with what type of creature they are, and then their disposition, like their energy. Try to get a feel for their energy, and put like some adjectives to it. And don't worry so much about their name for now. Later on you can. So yeah, definitely you guys are connected. You guys are connected to the other realm, to the 4th and 5th dimension, maybe even higher. So I was asking, after I pulled these cards, I was like, why aren't they trying that much? Why aren't they trying enough to work on their powers, to work on their spellcasting abilities, to work on their mediumship abilities, to work on again reaching to enlightenment, all that kind of stuff, and making the connection. And I pulled these 3 cards here, which I'm going to put here. And what I'm seeing is that there's a graduation in terms of your life, where you started off life here. You see this moon card, you started off with the darkness, and then you went into the light, sort of, you know, to speak, so to speak. And what that means is that you started off with all of your fears and your shadows bombarding you. So you would have been born immediately, like probably in a dysfunctional family, maybe an abusive one or a neglectful one or something like that, maybe bullied in school, or you just would have had some serious problem that didn't leave you, and there was no real concrete reason why you should have been having those problems. So like misfortune and malfortune and stress and bad luck, and you may have felt like you were cursed from the onset, as soon as you were born basically, and just earlier a quarter of your life, from like about 25 downward, you should have felt it really bleak and in a dark period. Now, you know, use that number loosely. For you guys, it could be around 30 downward, but somewhere around, like, again, this is a general reading, but you know, generally speaking, around between 25 and 30 years and downward, that period of your life should have been a catastrophe, so to speak. And you see with the Temperance, we move into the Temperance card. So a bunch of healing and a bunch of rebalancing of your energies. And then we got, you know, the 10 of Cups, which is, again, it's supposed to be ultimate fulfillment and stuff. It's in reverse there, meaning that, because I did actually ask, like, why you guys are not doing these things. And with that 10 of Cups being in reverse, it's because of your past and all of the negativity on all the letdowns and your wishes and your dreams having never come true. So it's like whenever you wanted something, it would have felt like you never got it, or you would have gotten the opposite of what you would have gotten what you didn't want time and time again. So you kind of like stopped wishing and dreaming. And I'm picking up that like some humans will start off life kind of in the light here, so like a decent upbringing and childhood, and you know, not too many instances of heavy shadow and karma and darkness and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, the shadow and the darkness and the bad luck and the karma and the subconscious limiting beliefs, and that has been traveling through lifetimes and all that stuff, etc., will trickle in throughout their life, like kind of like sprinkling salt over a pot of soup. It will trickle in bits and pieces throughout their life, but they'll never really have a period of heavy darkness. And there is a significant reason for that. It's because their ultimate goal for their soul when they leave this incarnation is not necessarily enlightenment. So they don't really need to deal with their shadow. And also, they're not connected, the people I'm speaking of, they're not connected to the underworld. So when they do disincorporate, when they are dead, they won't go directly to the underworld. So, or they may, but if they do, it's actually going to be what you would think hell to be for them, because of all the shadow that they still have. For you guys, when you do disincorporate, you will be going into the underworld, and hell won't be for you the way it is depicted, because of the first quarter or third of your life that should have been very, very, very heavy. So to prevent this reading from getting too long, the advice and messages from your spiritual team is to connect with your guardians, connect with your guides. They are trying to get in contact with you. Again, with the 3 of Cups reversed and all that fire, your guardians are underworld spirits of some kind. You need to figure that out yourself. This is a general reading. Work on your spell casting skills. If you felt like in the past you were trying to cast spells and they weren't working, well, it was the wrong time. It's all about timing here, and you guys it's all about phases, you know. And you were in a different phase. You were in that dark phase earlier that I showed in the moon card. Now you're gradually moving into the lighter phase, and things should work better more easily now. So things that you tried in the past that didn't work, try it again. If you had bad experiences with like tarot cards or oracle cards or whatnot in the past, try again. Because, you know, when you're trying to open up your occult abilities or like use them in the dark periods, you're just creating darkness. And I'm seeing it here with this wizard with his hand, and he just aura of darkness there. It's like trying to cast magic in the dark, you're just going to get darkness. But then trying to cast magic when you're in the lighter periods will actually be fruitful. So you should try these things again. Again, if you tried in the past to connect with your guides or with entities and it backfired, maybe you got haunted, or you had nightmares, or you got, just, stuff went wrong, try it again. Again, this is a different time frame, a different period. So, it should work. It should be better. So if you're afraid because things went wrong in the past, this is a different time period and things will go much more smoothly. So you need to be putting more effort into this. If you kind of gave up and you're thinking, recently you were thinking, okay, I'm not going to put so much time into this anymore. I spent so many years of my life trying to make this work and it was never working. Again, different phases. You're in a different phase now. So your spiritual team are asking you to actually make some time for connecting with them. Okay, so those are your messages. I hope that helped you. Hope it resonated. Let me know if it did, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So the advice and messages from your spiritual team is to watch who you tell your secrets to. Watch who you tell your plans, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, and your secrets to. Because there is at least one person here, very prominently, but it could also be for some of you guys a small group of people who do not have your best interest at heart. They listen to what you say, they take the information, and they send you the evil eye. Now, some of them may actually be doing witchcraft and spells behind your back with that Wheel of Fortune card there. I'm seeing it. But the rest of them, it's just the evil eye, and also some of them are spilling the beans to other people with that King of Swords reverse. It's like they're supposed to hold your confidence. Whoever you feel is supposed to hold your confidence the way a King of Swords would, like someone who's like above being like gossiping or that kind of stuff, is telling other people your business, is talking about you behind your back. So things that you tell them, they repeat to other people, even if it's their spouse or their fiance or their partner. Don't overlook that. So someone you're telling stuff to are talking about you to other coworkers or to other classmates or to other friends, to other family members, or to their own partners. And again, something about evil eye, and for some of you guys, there's actually some witchcraft involved. And we do have that Seven of Swords there, so they're being sneaky about it. They're being very deceptive, and that Seven of Swords is right underneath the serpent. Like, you do have a serpent in your midst, so just be mindful. And it's someone you have confidence in. It's someone you're trusting. So don't be so quick to trust people. This is ironic that I'm getting this pile right now when I'm filming this today. I think it was today. If it wasn't today, it was yesterday that I watched a Judge Judy episode on YouTube, where this woman who very obviously had mental health issues, and she actually did say, for a period she was in the hospital and whatnot, got taken advantage of by this woman, her employer, who she was working for, and the woman made her take out a large loan. And the poor woman was crying like on television and having an anxiety attack, and she didn't even end up getting all of her money back because she was so scatterbrained. She didn't even have proof that the woman had borrowed that much money from her, so she only ended up getting a small amount back. And then at the end, during the interview phase, if some of you guys watch a show, she was like, oh, I don't want it to affect our friendship while she's hysterical and crying about the whole situation. The fact that she had to go to the court, the fact that she had an anxiety attack, the fact that she didn't have the proof, the fact that she still didn't get all her money back. And then the lady came and like hugged her, and they hugged, and like everyone in the comment section were like, the parents of that woman need to get her away from that woman, because that woman is manipulating her and she can't see it. So all that to say, it's very ironic that I'm getting this reading right now, because it's kind of reminding me of like that situation. If that woman was listening to my reading, she would have picked this pile, and I would be telling her there's someone in your midst who you're trusting, who it does not have your best interest at heart, and who you need to get away from. If she was watching my reading, she would have picked this pile and she would be here as well. So also for some of you guys, because I gave that example, there could be some money involved. Don't lend money to some people. Let me just get some more information to see if I could see anything about this person. Hierophant in reverse. Someone you work with, most likely. It could be someone in a position of authority. It could be an immediate manager or supervisor. Yeah, someone you work with. There we go. It's definitely someone you work with or work for. And ironically, the example that I gave you, I just said it was her employer. So there's a reason why I was giving that example. We have this temperance lady with long locks. She could have light brown hair. It could be a female with long light brown hair. It doesn't have to be. She could be a female who you see as very beautiful and ethereal looking. She could come off very like, she dresses nicely for some of you guys. Likes to wear light colors. Likes to be on top. That 6 of Wands there in reverse. But definitely someone you work with, work for, work around, where money is involved or some kind of organization is involved. Could be church, because the Hierophant, is traditionally church. But you guys would both have to be part of like a group in church where there's something to do with finances involved. Okay, so hopefully that helps narrow down that person. Your spirit guides are telling you to be mindful, because not only are, this is a general reading. For some of you guys, it's as little, quote unquote, little as them spreading. It could be anywhere from them spreading your information, the things that you tell them in confidence, or telling other people behind your back and having a laugh about it. And you may even be around the people that they told your stuff to, and then you don't know that those people know your business, but deep down they know your business, and they're like laughing at you, and you don't realize it, and you're around those people as well. So it could be anything like that. It could be them actually giving you the evil eye and like messing with you. They could be messing with your beauty, especially with that part that I mentioned about this person being very beautiful, perhaps. Maybe they could be messing with your relationship or something like that. Whatever issue or info that you're telling them in your career, especially if you work with them. Like if you try to tell them, if you told them, oh, I'm thinking of like getting a promotion, I'm thinking of applying for a new position or something like that, they could be sending you the evil eye. If they have the ins in the company, if they have higher seniority, if they've been there longer, they have friends in certain departments. If you tell them, oh, I'm thinking about applying to that other department, and they don't want you to go into that department, they may go and like say something to the hiring manager or someone in that department, or even if it's just the secretary of that department. So then by the time you go and you submit your resume for the new position that opened up in that department, the secretary who's in on it, or the admin who's in on it, will just trash your resume, because a lot of times the admins go through the resumes first, and then they send, at least I think, and then they send the rest to the hiring manager to make the hiring manager's lives easier. So they could easily, say, oh, that person didn't meet all the qualifications. Like they could just trash your resume. So, and it could be that. Some of them, it could actually be actual witchcraft, because I'm picking that up with that Wheel of Fortune card there. They could be actually messing with you. If you feel like you have bad luck or that you've been hexed in some kind of way, it's probably that person hexing you. For some of you guys, definitely they're messing with your money, your finances with that Page of Pentacles. They're keeping you in a lower position. I do have the Page of Wands in reverse underneath the deck. So that's what I said. When they're keeping you in your lower position at work, for most of you guys, this person is at work. They're keeping you in a lower position, a subordinate position at work. They don't want you to advance. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. See, the Knight moves, okay? They don't want you to move. And we have 2 Pentacles there. No movement. And they want to, again, be right above you. So they might be your immediate superior with that Knight. We have Page and then we have Knight. So just one step up, just look to who that is. Or it could be someone in the same position who's been there just a little bit longer than you. So they come off kind of like your supervisor, even though they're not officially your supervisor. Like, you know, like say for example, you're a housekeeper and someone's been there for 2 years and you only been there for 6 months, even though they're not officially the supervisor, because maybe there's not a supervisor position. When you guys are on shift, they're going to be basically your supervisor, because if you're like, oh man, where's this? I can't find this thing or something like that, you would go to them, or they might say, hey, you did this wrong or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? So watch out for someone who kind of seems like your supervisor in a way, or who just has this kind of haughty attitude and stuff like that, or who may actually be your immediate superior and stuff like that. Okay, so those are your messages. I hope that helped you. Hope it resonated. Let me know if it did, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello, pal number 4. Welcome to your reading. So the advice and messages from your spiritual team. So you guys are either at the beginning of, or you're in the middle of a rather chaotic period of your life, a rather stressful period of your life. I'm immediately seeing divorce for a lot of you guys. I'm also seeing a loss of a job, but there's definitely something rather chaotic happening that's just keeping up at night, making you stressed out. You might be depressed, crying, and that sort of stuff. You feel like you can't win. You're not winning. You feel betrayed. Again, I am picking up heavy divorce for some of you guys here. There's something here about with the Green Man and the Sun. We start off with the Green Man and the Sun. These are 2 very auspicious cards. I mean, to have a plant card next to the sun, we all know that most plants thrive in the sun. So definitely there's growth happening here, and you're growing through this trial and this period right now. So I did ask, like, you know, what is the point of this? Like, what is the purpose of this? Like, what is trying to happen here with this calamity? And I got this Queen of Wands card in reverse. And what I'm seeing from this is that you guys have an issue with not being assertive, especially if you're a female. And I'm picking up heavy females in this group, and I'm picking up divorce. Seriously, it could be, you know, whatever it is for you, but this is a general reading. But this is what I'm picking up. This is the strongest majority of you guys in this group here, and you have an issue here with being a little bit too subservient, a little bit too quiet, a little bit too much of a pushover, and that really ended in your marriage ending because your partner was too dominant. He was too controlling, and you're not able to use force, assertiveness, set boundaries. You're not good at setting boundaries. You have an issue with this. And I feel like you were put into that relationship to learn how to set boundaries and how to stand up for yourself and how to speak up for yourself. And you either were not fully learning that lesson, and this was like a karmic relationship, by the way. So you were either not really learning that lesson, and the karmic relationship had to just come to a natural end at the time frame it was supposed to end anyways, or you learned enough of a lesson in that period that it was deemed that you were able to move on from it. So you're actually ending a karmic relationship and moving on. So, you know, whichever way it goes, it's definitely the end of a karmic relationship. For those of you where it's the end of a career, you should have had a nightmare of a boss, or a boss who was very controlling, or a micromanager, or like coworkers who were toxic or something like that. You may have felt like people were always talking over you, or not taking your ideas seriously, or maybe stealing your ideas, or you were being passed over for promotions and stuff like that. People didn't really listen to you, and just, you know, stuff like that. So here I have these 3 cards. I pulled them like right after the Queen of Wands in reverse. So with the Ace of Cups, definitely renewal, emotional renewal here. And again, I'm picking up from that heavy romantic partnership ending. With the hangman right next to it, it's like you're going to at some point become enlightened and realize like what was the purpose of this nonsense, this calamity. But what I'm also seeing from that is that you had to see like the other end of the spectrum, like kind of see like how badly can you allow someone to overstep your boundaries and to treat you like subhuman, or treat you like second class, or like treat you like a child or inferior or whatnot. How much could you allow that to happen? And before you kind of spring back to the other direction. So it's like kind of seeing your downfalls in its lowest point, as low as possible with the hangman, so that you can actually see the problem that you have. And this problem carried over from a past life, by the way. So it has to be worked out in this lifetime. And with that Seven of Swords next to the hangman, it's like that there's something that needs to be removed. So one could also say that you're gaining a sense, a stronger inner authoritativeness or inner strength and stuff like that. But what I'm really seeing is that you're losing your timidness and your lack of boundary setting and being firm in them and that sort of stuff. You're kind of losing all of these things that helped you survive in your past life. So yeah, it's not so much becoming more assertive, which, you know, obviously it kind of is, but it's not so much, you know, becoming more assertive, becoming more dominant, becoming more stern and set in your boundaries and that and authoritative and that sort of stuff. It's more for you guys losing or ditching the timidness, the meekness, the subservience, the inferiority, the allowing yourself to be victimized, abused, and that sort of stuff. Like just dropping that is mainly what you need to do in this lifetime, not so much turn into, you know, I don't know, think of an alpha female, whoever, and, you know, there you go. It's not necessarily that you need to turn into an alpha female. You just need to stop being the runt of the litter. So yeah, this was a karmic relationship, whatever this relationship was for you, and you're growing from it. Five of Pentacles, definitely you lost something, and that again is giving me, for some of you guys, it could have been a career, a job. But yeah, you're moving with that. You're definitely moving. There's movement here. So you're moving out of a karmic relationship somewhere else. Now, depending on how much you learned a lesson during this particular karmic relationship is going to be proportionate to how good of a situation you land yourself in next. So like if it was a divorce, how good of a next romantic relationship you land yourself in next. If it was a bad career, a toxic career, how good of a job you land yourself in next. So, you know, how much did you learn that lesson? How much of those negative qualities and traits that you carried forward from your past life did you actually drop? Did you actually are no longer a part of your personality? And what percentage of them have you dropped? And that will be proportionate to how toxic your next job is, or how toxic your next romantic relationship is, right? So yeah, so this is all for your growth. At one point I did have the Judgment card underneath the deck, so definitely this is like, you know, some life plan here, a soul plan for soul growth. Yeah, all of the things that are blocking you here with that Nine of Wands, all of the things that you're struggling with, you've been struggling with at least since the last lifetime, and then this one as well. You've been struggling with this thing here. So that's a kind of an explanation for why you're going through what you're going through. And, you know, this is a growing opportunity. It is for your growth. But again, it is going to get better, but how much it gets better the next time around is going to depend on how much of those negative traits you dropped. Okay, so those are your messages. I hope that helped you. Hope it resonated. Let me know if it did, and I will see you in my next reading.